Other thoughts from the Gospels. Of course, there are many passages in the Gospel which can be helpful to us at this time, but here are just a few short ones that I thought might be most helpful. From the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verses 38 to 40. This is Jesus speaking. My life spirit has come into this material plane, not that I should accumulate possessions and the accolades of others, but that I should be a clear reflection for my sisters and brothers of the magnificence of God that lies within me and within all of us. The brilliance of God is the source of all existence, and the preference of this loving being is that God's brilliance should be evident in my life now, without being diminished by the secondary things that many people seek in their confusion. This illumination that you see in me is the same illumination that all people will see in themselves and in all creation when this universe blossoms into its own innate fullness. For this is the blessing of God to you now, that as you take to yourself what you see in me, you move ever more close to the wholeness of who you are, to your participation in God's own self. From the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 31 and 32. Again, Jesus speaking. If you persevere in living in this light of God's pervasive presence, as I have taught you and shown you, you will carry my life forward within you. In this is wisdom perceived, and in this wisdom are you free. Again, Jesus speaks in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 27 and 28. Consider the lilies of the field. They grow abundantly everywhere, and yet they don't even work or struggle for their existence. Even Solomon, a most bedecked and bejeweled king, was not as magnificently adorned as one of these simple flowers. If God is so abundantly generous, even to plants which are alive today and raked up and thrown away tomorrow, how much more does God throw your way at every moment of your eternal existence? And finally, Jesus speaking in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 37 through 40. Your inevitable destiny is to love God with all your heart, with all your spirit, and with all your mind. This is the most profound universal law which gently but persistently tugs at you every moment of your existence. The next most important universal law is like the first. Your purpose and your salvation in this physical life is to love the people you come into contact with as much as you love yourself. This is the sum of what it is all about. Everything is secondary to these two purposes.